This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahushai, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahushai. Yahweh is the name who the world calls God, and Yahushai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kradash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught me this truth. And salutation to the Akhim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And the reason why I brought out the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 43 and 44, right, is because I came across this news article, right, this article from the Brookings Institute, where it says, home ownership while black, examining the devaluation of assets in black neighborhoods. And that brought me to this, the scriptures of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 43 and 44. How the stranger, okay, which are these Edomites, all right, they're always going to be above us, all right, while us, the so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans, we're always going to be low, all right? And where do you see that mostly at? And that's in assets, all right, starting with homes, all right? And that's why we're always going to be the tail while there be the head, okay? So I came across this article from the Brookings Institute, and I was like, man, this is a recent article, came out December 5th, and it says, according to new research from the Brookings Metropolitan Police Policy Program and Gallup, in the average U.S. metropolitan area, homes in majority black neighborhoods are valued at roughly half the homes in the neighborhoods with no black residents, amounting to $156 billion in cumulative losses, lower levels of wealth accumulation among black owners, and reduced upward economic mobility for the black children. All right, man, that's what it is, and that's how you know the curses are upon us, and not just the curses, all right. What's so even more sinister is that these Edomites, they're forwarding affliction, all right. And I'm gonna play you this video from PBS to prove that case, all right. So let me play this video.
10 years since the economic recession, and credit has slowly returned for most Americans. By 2016, the number of conventional mortgages had risen 95% since the housing bust. And yet, some Americans are still being left behind. The gap between white and black ownership is wider now than it was in 1960.
So, 1960, that was right after the Civil Rights Movement, okay? That was when everybody's supposed to be equal, all right? Integration, nah, okay? It's all lies. It's all deception, man, all right? This is economic warfare, all right? That leads me to the next scripture. Psalms, the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. And that's these Edomites, these so-called white people, those that control the banking institutions, the real estate institutions, all right? The district itself, all right? The mayors, the congressmen, all right? His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, right? Because on the outside, they say, oh, we're trying to help you, but they're making sure, all right, that you don't get a leg up, man, that you always will be the tail, all right? You always will be that at the bottom, okay? Since 1960, all right, that should wake you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans up. All right, let's continue on.
Tonight, the first of a two-part series, results of a year-long investigation from Reveal, a program produced by the Center for Investigative Reporting. As Reveal's Aaron Glantz reports, black and Latino home buyers in some cities seem to have a harder time getting a home mortgage.
You see that? Black and Latino, the Northern and Southern Kingdom. Coincidence? Nah, they know who we are, all right? These elites, the secret societies, Illuminati, they know exactly who we are, all right? That's why it's only us, okay? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans being oppressed, all right? Let's go to Zechariah chapter 1, verse 15. I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. Right, these heathen are at ease, man. They're laughing at us, seeing us struggle, man. Seeing us get up early in the morning at the crack of dawn, working 2, 3 jobs, all right, and still not able, to purchase a home. Still not able, to put a down payment for a car, man. For I was but a little displeased, yet they help for an affliction. Right, man. With these modern day, what they call in this a modern day redlining, okay, just to purchase a home. All right, and that's what these Edomites have been doing, man. And that's why you so-called white people, as a nation, you all got to get judged, all right? Because you support these institutions, man, that have been dogging us since the inception of this country. All right, let's continue on. It's gonna get good. Watch what it says.
Brooklyn native Rochelle Farul moved to Philadelphia in 2015, hoping to buy a home here.
I was like, I'm gonna try this thing. I've got a lot of gumption.
She made a good income as a computer programmer and had enough for a down payment.
Wait, so she's a computer programmer and had enough for a down payment, okay? Think about that.
Potential lender, Philadelphia Mortgage Advisors, was encouraging at first. But the lender worried her income could be unstable since she was a contractor. So Farul suggested her mother co-sign.
Because my mom is a retired school teacher. Specifically, she worked in New York City for 35 years.
A retired school teacher from New York City. You can't get any more credible than this. All right, continue on.
It is great.
But Farul was told that wasn't enough to offset her mother's student loan debt from a PhD.
I got shot down left and right.
Lenders look for applicants with debt payments roughly 36% or less of their income. So Farul got a new job with the University of Pennsylvania with a salary allowing her to afford the 2-story row house she found a short walk from the university.
I wanted this really badly.
But that still wasn't enough. When she applied for a loan again, this time with Santander Bank, they also rejected her. Her credit score had plunged 50 points because of a single delinquent electric bill.
Single delinquent electric bill. One electric bill, your credit score drops 50 points. All right? This is economic warfare on the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? And if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, you must see this, man. All right? This is all strategically calculated by this devil, these Edomites. Continue on.
She paid the bill as soon as Santander flagged it, but the bank still said no. Farul started to suspect this had to do with her race.
Black people in this country have to be twice as good to get half as much.
And she's right. She's right. After Jim Crow laws, all right, these Edomites expect the so-called Negroes, all right, starting off Judah, Yahweh, to all of a sudden, hey, get up my level. Hey, Jim Crow laws, segregation. Then you pass these laws, civil rights movement, all right, and now it's gotten even worse.
And I couldn't even get half, They wouldn't give me anything.
Turning Farul down because of her race would be illegal. It's been illegal for 50 years.
Fair housing for all is now a part of the American way of life.
And let me go back to Psalms 55, verse 21. Economic warfare. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Right, that was Lyndon B. Johnson, all right? Writing these bills saying we got to stop segregation and everybody needs to be fair. All right? Equality, all lies. But war was in his heart. All right, that's these devils, man. That's these Edomites. You cannot trust these Edomites. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right, you're going to see it.
The 1968 Fair Housing Act was a response to redlining, a racist lending practice where the federal government colored minority neighborhoods red on maps, labeling them hazardous to lend in.
Right, and they don't need to do that anymore. Okay, now they just say, the community, a majority here is a so-called black community. And automatically that draws red flags, so don't lend to that community. All right?
In 1977, President Carter went further with the Community Reinvestment Act, requiring banks to lend to qualified borrowers in low-income communities in cities where they had branches. But these laws have not solved the problem. After the 2008 recession, banks tightened their lending standards. 10 years later, while lending has returned for many Americans, Reveal's analysis shows what looks like modern-day redlining is showing up across the country.
Yup. All right. So after the '08 housing bubble crisis, who suffered the worst? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right. They were the ones to get fired first. Okay. And they were the ones that get hired last. And yet you Edomites, you expect us to get at your level when your whole institution is based on oppression. Let's continue on.
Have places like Washington, D.C., places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Santa Fe, New Mexico. These are the places where they are more likely to be denied because of who they are.
Nearly 50 years after the Fair Housing Act, Reveal data journalist Emmanuel Martinez found some significant racial disparities.
We looked at nearly 31 million mortgage records, nearly every mortgage application filed with the government in 2015 and 2016. In 61 metros across the country, applicants of color are more likely to be denied a conventional mortgage.
Banks don't share credit scores. They say that is proprietary. But by using other information the government requires be disclosed, Reveal found statistically significant differences by race.
And where are they going to use? The Census Bureau. All right? The Census Bureau. That's how they know where you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the majority, dwell at.
My analysis includes 9 different factors. Among them are the applicant's income, the size of the loan, and specific information about the neighborhood that they're looking to buy in. Here we have the likelihood of denial. So black applicants in Philadelphia are almost 3 times as likely to be denied a conventional mortgage.
3 times as likely to be denied, man. That's oppression. That's racist right there. Okay? Economic warfare on the children of Israel. In fact, that's the title I'm going to name it. Economic warfare. All right? Then you have the cost of living rising. The wages are stagnant. You see how our people are oppressed? That's why we need a savior. We need Yahushua. Okay? And you so-called white people, you're going to be judged for all this, man.
Theo found this pattern in dozens of cities.
Look how spiritual this is. Black, Latino, Native Americans. All right? And they're the ones being dinged as the ones not getting a loan. All right? How spiritual is that? That also cuts that narrative that only the so-called blacks are the children of Israel. All right?
Philadelphia was one of the largest. That means that a black applicant and a white one with similar financial profiles will likely have very different outcomes. This wasn't true for just one bank, but for the lending industry as a whole. The Mortgage Bankers Association wouldn't go on camera for this story, but in a statement it said that the data available under the Home Mortgage Disclosure Act is not sufficient to make a determination regarding fair lending. And the American Bankers Association said that without access to borrowers' credit history, the data cannot paint a complete picture.
Unfortunately, credit score and an applicant's total debt-to-income ratio aren't part of this publicly available data set. But it's those same financial institutions that have lobbied from keeping it away from researchers, from academics, from journalists like me who want to study these disparities.
Right, because they'll find out that it's bias. All right? This is why you can't trust these Edomites, man. These Edomites are oppressing us, okay? And they're using these institutions to do it, man. And they use the color of law, all right, to continue this oppression. Unrighteous decrees, man.
I believe that we are better off having more information released in aggregate on credit scoring and those folks who get loans to make sure that there is no discrimination.
Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina says releasing that data would make the industry more transparent. But it wouldn't solve a different problem. He says credit scores penalize people of color. He's introduced a bill to fix that.
Wow, you have to introduce a bill, all right, to stop racial bias on credit scores? Come on, man, this place ain't fair. Let me get a another article, another scripture, excuse me. Book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Right, and that's these elites, these Edomites, man, the Illuminati, these secret societies, man. All right? They're the ones able to, push these laws, push these regulations, all right, these stipulations to continue to oppress our people so we can never move up in the society, man. All right? They're foreign affliction, man. That's why, all right, we can't make it here, man. America's not a place. This is not our rest. You know what? Let me get that. That should be the book of Micah. So let me get it real quickly. Not our rest. Should be the book of Micah 2. Salakia, Berami, Akim. Two and 10. Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Rise ye and depart. This is not your rest because it is polluted, right? This place is polluted, all right? This place is oppressing. It shall destroy you even with the sword of destruction. Right, man. Here it is, you're suffering, and you still want to believe in this place, man. This place is destructive, man. That's why America has to be destroyed with thermonuclear fire, man. All right? I just want to make that point out. Let's go back to Micah chapter 2, verse 1 again. Woe to them that devise iniquity, right? Death and destruction. To them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Verse 2. And they covet fields and they take them by violence. Right. You took this land by violence. Since it's a deception. All right. And now you're doing it economically by violence, warfare, economic warfare. And houses, right? Houses. And take them away. Exactly. Can't even buy a house up in this piece. So they oppress a man in his house. Yup. Even a man in his heritage. All right? It's claiming you're the chosen people. Yeah, right, man. You don't even fit the curses, man. All right? Let's continue on with this video.
So what we're trying to do is bring to light all those folks who are paying their bills on time, and yet it's not showing up on their credit scores. Your electric bill, unless you're doing something bad, doesn't show up. Your cell phone, unless you're doing something bad, doesn't show up. People of color are typically the folks who will be disproportionately impacted.
In almost every city in America, African Americans and Latinos were denied home loans at higher rates than whites. We could not statistically prove a relationship between race and denial in many.
Yeah, because you're working for the system. All right? And this is your way to show your pomp. All right? Your pride. All right? To laugh at us.
61, including Philadelphia, our analysis found race played a role. Neighborhoods with very few loans had the highest proportion of Black and Latino residents.
You see, there are beautiful homes up here, and people work very hard to maintain their properties.
Angela McIver heads the Fair Housing Association of Southeastern Pennsylvania. In the era of redlining, the government shaded this neighborhood, Germantown, blue and green, marking it as a desirable area to lend in. Over the decades, the demographics shifted from white to Black, and today, banks deny more loans here than they approve. You see...
and that's why, man, this place has got to go. This place is oppressing, man. Let's get another news article. White Americans gain the most from Trump's tax cuts, a report finds. The tax cut that President Trump signed into law last year are disproportionately helping white Americans over African Americans and Latinos, a disparity that reflects long-standing racial economic inequality in the United States and the choices that the Republicans made in the crafting of the law. And I'm going to put Democrats in there too, all right, because they're both in on the gig, man, all right? The finding comes from a new analyst of the $1.5 trillion tax cut using an economic model built by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, a liberal think tank, and releasing a joint report with Prosperity Now, a nonprofit focused on helping low-income Americans attain wealth and financial stability. It is the first detailed analysis of the law to break down the effects by race. White Americans, Edomites, earn about 77% of total income in the United States, but they are getting nearly 80% of the benefits of the individual business tax cuts generated by the new law. The analyst found African Americans receive about 5% of the benefits, despite earning 6% of the nation's income. Latinos got about 7%, although their share of all income is 8%. Man, that's a big gap, man. This place is oppressing. And all right. In total, the analyst estimates whites will get $218 billion tax cuts this year. As a result of the law, Black Latino Americans will get about $32 billion combined. Why is this? Let me jump down to the point. The racial divide highlighted by analysis is largely a product of the financial advantages that the white people have long held. The Edomites have long held. Why? How did they long held it? Well, because you are the slave masters. You are the children of the slave masters, the slave owners. Okay? Old money. And everything was passed down from generation to generation. Hello, the generation, the America's inception, all right, 1776, if you may say, all right, from now, it's not that long. It's only 200 something years, man. That's about 3 or 4 generations. That's 100 years back. So say the average lifespan of somebody is 74, according to your statistics, all right? Think about that. That's the reason why you held the wealth so long, man. And each generation of our people, they've gotten worse and worse and worse, man, into oppression, man, into affliction. They earn more on the average than Black or Latino Americans and are far more likely to be among the top income earners in the country. That means they were better positioned to gain from a law that delivered higher benefits to top earners in a total dollars a percentage term than low and middle income Americans. The average income for white taxpayers is significantly higher than for Black and Latinos. That's a huge driver. All right? So there you have it, man. That's oppression right there. Last one article. As millennials, especially Latinos and Blacks, own fewer homes, wealth gaps will grow. Right? There's a huge wealth gap, especially among the millennials of Latinos and Blacks. All right? You think this is a coincidence? No. It's all strategically calculated by these Edomites, man. The author points to a troubling trend how home ownership numbers will increase the wealth of gap between white millennials compared to Latinos and Blacks. Right, you Edomites. Because this is your kingdom, man. This ain't our kingdom. Let me get to the point. According to the report, millennial home ownership rates plummeted across all races and ethnicities in 2015. Right, because all millennials, all right, even the Edomites are not, okay, don't have enough wealth as the Generation X and the baby boomers. All right? And just a fact. But even among that, Blacks and Hispanics, millennials are catching hell. The Israelites. They're not even obtaining a home. This is strategically calculated, man. Economic warfare. Hispanic and Asian American rates fell to 24.6% and 27.2% in the same year. The home ownership rate for whites was at nearly 40%, while for Blacks, it was 13.4%. Home ownership rates fell 9.7 percentage points for the Blacks from 2000 to 2015. All right? And that's all. So Jake was catching hell before and after the 2008 housing bubble crisis, right? Which were the years of foreclosure crisis. Yeah, because really it was affecting blacks and Hispanics, foreclosures even in 2000. Millennials face significant barriers to homeownership, according to reports authors. These include high education debt, right? Because when we went to that piece of shit public school, they say, yeah, go to college so you could get a lot of money so you could buy a home. Well, guess what? You have now graduates of so-called Negroes, Latinos, who are the Israelites, that now have all this school debt and still don't have a home. High rental costs, right? I did a video on rent burden, the cost of living. Okay, rent is rising. Tight credit standards for mortgages. Hey, that video right here explained the racist bias on it. Okay? And shortages of affordable housing in urban and metropolitan areas. Right. What do you have? Why is that happening? Gentrification. The Edomites are moving into these areas now. Okay? You see it in Harlem. All right? Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Oh, you see it down here in Miami. Okay? Fort Lauderdale, all right, Delray, so on and so forth. But these are other factors. Millennials are delaying marriage and childbearing, two factors that increase the probability of owning a home. And this is all designed because they want to depopulate the society, and they really want to depopulate you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because you're the children of Israel. Jeremiah chapter 22, verse 13. Woe unto them that build this house by unrighteousness. Right? America was built by unrighteousness. It continues to be built on unrighteousness off the backs of, who serve, who are slaves here, who are the tail, all right, who are at the bottom, is built off Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? So woe to you Edomites for doing this. His chambers by wrong, that uses his neighbor's servants without wages, right, not giving them a proper wage, okay, not giving their home, value, all right, because according to you Edomites, all right, a home is what gives you wealth, and you're devaluating the homes, all right, in so-called Negro, Latino, Native American communities, all right, and give him not his work, right? You don't give him his fair cut in the American dream, in the American pie. So woe to you devils, man, death and destruction to you devils. Last scripture, James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. Right, you rich elites, you Edomites here that have all the wealth, all right? You're going to howl in these days, because when this economy collapses, everything's going down in America. Everybody's going down. That's why they're going to implement martial law, because there's going to be no food or water in the stores. That they're going to implement the RFID chip, all right? So they can control people, because there's going to be a lot of uproars and riots and sedition. It's going to be crazy out here, man. Get ready. Your riches are corrupted. Your garments are molded. Right. Everything is corrupted. Everything is full of deception, deceit, fraud. Verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered. The rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Yet ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Right. These are the last days. You're going to continue this bullshit, man. Right? The Lord's going to destroy America, Babylon, once and for all. This place got to go. Fuck this place, man. Excuse my French. Verse 4, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you, kept by fraud, lies, deception, deceit. All right? Crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Right? This is the Lord of the armies, all right? The Lord of the army of Israel, okay? And this is Yahushua. He's hearing the cries of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites. He's hearing the cries. That's why he's coming back to bring judgment to you Edomites and to you heathens, all right? Notice, just to make a point, how come it's not affecting Chinese, Japanese, Indians, Arabs? Why is it not affecting them? Right? Because they're not the Israelites, man. And that's just what it is. All right? They're heathens. The curse upon us, yes, for all these heathens, for the affliction, starting with the so-called white men, the Edomites. All right. So with that, Lord willing, I was edifying. Once again, economic warfare is upon our people. The statistics you cannot lie about. They cannot lie. The statistics are here. All right. Economic warfare is happening on the children of Israel. With that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle, great millstone, Ruel, and taught me this truth. Salutation to the Akim out there, pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh Bashim Yahushui's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep the Torah, keep the faith. And with that, shalom.